Dude, Jonesy, brah.
Mersh, what's the haps, man?
Just chilling. I just got back from doing some major thrashing, and I heard that there's an awesome new movie coming out this weekend, and we should totally go check it out.
Oh, dude, Jurassic Park. Yeah, I'm in.
Nah, dude, no one wants to see a bunch of stupid fake dinosaurs. There's a movie coming out, and it's all about, like, mountain climb. You know that extreme sport that we do in the wintertime?
Whoa. Bruh, like real mountain climbing?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know they're not going to use any, like, matte paintings or green screen or anything like that like stupid Jurassic Park will, because you can't fake mountain climbing, brah.
Alright, well, I mean, who's in it?
Well, dude, Rocky's in it.
Whoa, is Rambo in it too?
Absolutely, you know he is. Also, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, is in it.
That's a masterfully crafted film, bruh.
Not to mention, Mr. Walton is also like an aged peer. You know, he's like a guy who he mentors them, but he's also kind of a crazy artist. So it's everything. It's our childhood and our current being.
Sounds like the total package.
It absolutely is. And that's why, because it's got Mr. Walton, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Rambo, and Rocky, and totally not faked green screen mountain climbing, that's how you know it's going to be way better than Jurassic Park.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Welcome, bro. Oh, sorry, I was still in character.
Don't do that.
Whoa, man. It takes a while sometimes. You gotta snap out of it, right?
Boy, howdy, were those guys wrong.
Oh, my goodness. This was not quite to the level of Jurassic Park.
No.
I'm Brendan.
And I'm Nathan.
And this is What Were They Thinking? It is a podcast about bad to questionable movies. And we certainly have one of those for you this week.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into it, Nathan, we did an extreme movie, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to get our expert on the panel.
Absolutely.
So we have resident extreme sports expert and the Covenant aficionado, Jerika, is here.
Hi, guys.
And that is another Rennie Harlan film, by the way.
Oh
It
my
is.
God, it is.
So
Some might say it's the best Rennie Harlan film.
I think you're one of the few. But I want you to keep fighting the battle, though.
I suppose that would count as some, because
True.
regardless of how many it is as long as it's more than one, it's some.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm not here for a Covenant hate cast, okay?
I didn't say anything hateful about it. I'm just doing math.
You've been tricked. This is actually a Rennie Harlan hate fest.
Oh, I will be taking my leave of you then. He's only got a few misses that I'm just like, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he directed Die Hard 2 right before this, so...
No thanks.
Nathan's not a Die Hard 2 fan.
All right, I heard it here first, all right.
But
Yeah.
Long Kiss Goodnight. Watch that all week.
I've never seen it.
Ooh.
Yes, so Reginald Harlan is who we're talking about this week. And it's the second time we've talked about Sylvester Stallone. I guess the first time if you're not a patron.
Is that your Patreon sing-song voice?
Patreon. Because we did Rocky 5 as a Patreon exclusive episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this is second Stallone, Cliffhanger, 1993. Nathan, Jerika, this was a huge hit.
I know, yeah.
Did you have a problem pronouncing S letters, Brendan?
The S was in parentheses, so I didn't pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
The budget for this thing, $70 million.
Ooh.
Which, 1993 money.
That's
quite a bit.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we see it on screen.
I think we see maybe 30 of it.
Well,
you have to
they
pay.
put some cash into making the fake cash that they burn, so.
Well, that's true. But I mean, okay, think of it this way. That's bigger than the budget for Jurassic Park.
Okay, that's... Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
What was Jurassic Park's budget?
63.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Same year. That's boggling my mind right now.
Oh, you know what it is, guys?
Every dollar in Jurassic Park.
I figured it out. Legit. Stallone's in this movie. In Jurassic Park, there's not really like a $20 million movie star. Like, Jeff Goldblum was big, but I don't think he made as much as Stallone made from Cliffhanger.
Are you discounting the box office draw that is Sam Neill?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that his name on a poster doesn't usually draw people automatically.
I think Cliffhanger you would see because you're a Stallone fan, whereas Jurassic Park you would see because it looks like a good movie.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to like, oh, the new Sam Neill movie's out.
Poor Sam
Yeah, I
Neill.
remember him in Nell. Wait, is he in Nell? I think he's in Nell.
He was in A Cry in the Dark. I remember that.
In
There
the
we
Mouth
go.
of Madness.
Yes, and that too, John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Again, John Carpenter, the selling point of that movie, not Sam Neill.
So I guess before we get
Cliffhanger.
rolling into this, I
Yeah.
have an anecdote or a story to relay. When this movie came out, as we mentioned, Jurassic Park was out as well. And the local cinema, the Parkway Cinema, because this was before the Megaplex era, had
In the year
two
2000.
had two screens. One was showing Jurassic Park, the other was showing Cliffhanger. My dad and myself and my brother all wanted to go see Jurassic Park because everybody was blowing up about it. We got there and it was sold out. My dad, who didn't want to waste the trip to town, said, well, let's go see the Sylvester Stallone movie because, you know, you guys like Sylvester Stallone. My brother and I both did. So we were like, yeah, hopefully it'll be, you know, as good or better than Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, it's on our podcast.
Yeah.
And Jurassic Park is tied for my favorite movie of all time. So
It's almost, Jurassic Park is nearly a perfect movie.
yeah.
Maybe is a perfect movie.
Yes.
But
Are
let's
you
get
saying that Cliffhanger's not?
well, let's figure that out.
I'll say this. It's not better than Jurassic Park, but my brother and I at the time found it endlessly entertaining.
Yep, for all the right and wrong reasons.
Yup.
So, Cliffhanger, 1993, and as the movie opens, we get Sylvester Stallone climbing a mountain. And I wrote, this is kind of like the anti-Mission Impossible 2, where you can tell Tom Cruise is doing all these stunts because Stallone is not doing his own stunts.
And the thing is, it was done by Carol Co. Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
The same folks who did The Crow. And I find it odd that that was the movie that somebody died while making for their cheap studio, as opposed to this one, where people were up on mountains.
Wow. You don't remember the scene in The Crow where Brandon Lee was climbing the mountain?
It's not the climbing. It's just, I find it so weird that, you know, it was lax safety standards on that movie versus this movie.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and guess that a lot of this is green screen. Is that controversial to say?
I don't believe a word you're saying, Brandon.
But we get the opening credits as this is going on. A couple things I want to point out right from the get-go. The credit for the actor Leon.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at first I was confused. I was like, oh, is that the name of the movie? Did I accidentally watch Leon the Professional?
No.
I was like, I do not see 14-year-old Natalie Portman trying to fuck Jean Reno anywhere in this movie yet. So I don't think I'm watching that right now. But it comes up like it's the title of the movie after a few of the actors' names. And the other credit that I really liked was based on a premise by...
Right?
Yeah, I noticed that myself. That stuck out in a big way.
How about a guy climbs cliffs and there's terrorists? Thanks, Jerry. We'll give you a credit.
I'm Osimo 4000.
Well, but like I think that was a big deal because I think that this movie had to go to arbitration for the screenwriting credits.
Oh, really?
I did
Yeah,
not know
because
that.
I tried to find it because it says based on a premise by the guy, and I wanted to find out who that person was, and he is he's a rock climber.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, ended up going to arbitration with like the Writers Guild because they were trying to figure out who actually should be credited on writing this film.
So I'm guessing
shit.
he like bumped elbows with Stallone, mentioned it, and then they made this movie.
I mean, yeah, probably. I know that Stallone was also trying to fight for credit because if you notice, he is credited as writing this film.
Yes.
And if you know Stallone's history of screenwriting, after he wrote Cobra, he tried to take the author's name off the book and replace it with his own name.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
So
He's a crazy person.
the music at the beginning is so gloriously over the top. The score is great. And we soon find out that Stallone is going up the mountain to help his friend Hal, played by Michael Rooker.
Yep.
So, of course, this is a prequel to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Fight me.
Actually, well, I will because I want to say that this is a prequel to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I think he's all three of those characters.
Okay. When does he like dip himself in blue paint?
After he's Henry.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because that's in the future, right?
Yeah, he goes crazy, dips himself in blue paint, and then he sees Stallone, and things get awkward in Guardians.
Okay.
So, I almost said Henry Rooker. Michael Rooker and his girlfriend, Sarah, they're up on the cliff. I guess they're stuck there, and Gabe Stallone, whatever, is going up to help them get off the mountain. We get a lot of fun banter here. This little climbing is better than sex, or he told me it's better than sex.
He lied to her.
Never enjoyed climbing that much. I was gonna say, but this is a scene. Now, my knowledge of Cliffhanger, okay, I'd obviously heard of the movie, knew it existed, played the horrible video game, but my only other knowledge of Cliffhanger was that scene in Ace Ventura when he's going across the rope and he drops the little panda there. Yeah, and I often wondered, if that's a parody of something.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it's this movie.
I had also went into this knowing nothing about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I had seen probably a shot from the opening. Like, I had a concept of... Basically, I knew they would be hanging off of cliffs, and I didn't know anything else. And so when this opening started, I actually really loved the opening.
Yeah.
And I honestly was sitting here like, okay, if this is the movie, this might be a good movie. Like, I actually enjoyed the opening quite a bit.
I'm the only one who's seen this previously then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I thought the opening is tense. It's a little ridiculous. There's like, when she's so basically they're going across the rope. Michael Rooker makes it across. The girl gets about halfway and she starts slipping. She's her basically hanging by a belt buckle, and Stallone has to go out and try to bring her up. She can't, like, you could tell that she's not even within arm's reach of him, but then when she completely falls, they do that thing where she's like, oh, last minute, I got you.
Yeah.
But she falls to her death.
Not before her random teddy bear fell to his death.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Little Poochie. It was a Saint Bernard, wasn't it?
Was it?
I thought so.
It was like a stuffed dog, I think.
Either way, I feel that she didn't need to die. I mean, there were several times when all she had to do was move her other hand up closer to Stallone, and she could have grabbed the wire that they were dangling off of.
Yep. Yeah. But when she falls, we follow her for a long time down, and for a while I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna see her go splat?
We could have used some Joe's Apartment cartoon physics.
Oh my god, where the rest of her body goes down first and then her head.
Yeah. Boing, and she has like a sign that says mother or something.
Help me.
Yeah.
End the cartoon.
But yeah, honestly, as someone who like is I have a big fear of heights. Like, watching her fall was kind of like a terrifying experience.
Yeah, this whole scene I was actually pretty anxious watching.
Yeah.
Much like you, Jerika, I watched this and I was like, oh, this could be pretty decent. And then, like, the rest of the movie takes place, guys.
And then I lost the plot immediately. As
So-
soon as the scene is over, I was confused.
Okay, so given the opening, what were you guys hoping or expecting from the movie?
I don't know, it just looked like it was going to be this tense the whole time. Like, you know...
Oh, it's like them actually involved in a daring, like, rescue or something?
Yeah, because so I haven't seen Cliffhanger, but I've seen Vertical Limit, and that is more about like the tension of being stuck on the mountain and like, or like something like Everest, where like what you're fighting isn't like bad people, but like weather conditions and, you know, the fact that you have this ego that you think you can get off of this mountain. That's sort of what I was expecting. I had no idea about any of this federal bank money, John Lithgow. I had no idea any of this was coming.
Yeah, it really blindsided me. But we jump ahead 8 months.
Yep.
And we're at the U.S. Treasury Office in Denver, possibly the most opposite place that Stallone could go to. So we have a bunch of containers of $1,000 bills that are going to be transported via plane, I guess.
Yeah.
And all the Treasury agents are going to be on board to make sure nothing happens, and I'm sure it'll go
All
great.
aptly played by a dozen character actors.
Oh, we got Bruce McGill, we got Paul Winfield from The Terminator, we got lots of great people in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we get to the introduction of an FBI agent that's going to go along with them. And I will say the movie kind of swerved me because I thought the FBI agent that was going along with them was going to be the one that screwed them over.
Right, because he was like a last-minute addition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, that guy's going to... Yeah. So we also go to Sylvester Stallone, who has... I guess he was with the pilot at the time, but when they were trying to do that escape on the mountain, like they were together,
yes.
Which I didn't really get from that, but yeah, they're together, and I guess he's moved away though, and he's going to get the rest of his stuff.
She did say during the rescue that he would, if he didn't knock it off flirting with the girl, that he'd have to climb all the way back down and sleep outside.
Yeah,
she does say that she recognized his butt, I think.
But I mean, it's Stallone. Of course you're going to recognize his butt.
Well, I mean, Estelle Getty did, so.
Oh, God. Coming soon.
I remember she was on Oprah pressing for that movie, and she was like, I got to see it.
I heard that she signed on to that movie before, and they lied to her and told her there was not going to be any violence. No joke. 100% serious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's stop or my mom will shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're having a little thing, like, she's like, oh, you know, you can't just walk away from your mistakes, like, it wasn't your fault, you didn't, like, well, kind of.
Well, it's before we get that scene with her, he encounters the Dude Bros.
Oh,
yes.
Dude
Because
Bros.
They're like, dude, we're going up for a killer jump. And I'm like, guys, phrasing, come on.
And then, yeah, like, so, and that's what boggles the mind, because at one point they're like, oh, don't tell me that job made you afraid of heights. And it's like, no, do you know what made him afraid of heights? The fact that he blames himself for dropping a woman off a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys, this movie is crazy, but these guys just walked out of another movie.
Yes, they're not from this movie. Like, oh, work? Don't say that word, man. I hate just the word work.
They're basically from Thrashin'.
Yes.
Yes, they are. This is a sequel. This is the Thrashin' cinematic universe. I'm pretty sure we've discussed it before.
Yeah, the TCU, yep.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the Tracers cinematic universe.
Jesus.
Which is Tracers and Twilight.
Yeah.
Not Abduction?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So then inexplicably these two dude bros are like, I guess Stallone is like friends with them too. He already knows them for some reason, which I thought was crazy. But anyway, they're like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna jump, and they drive off. Yeah, so then Stallone goes to get his stuff from Jesse's house, the pilot that he's currently, or that he was, I guess, dating.
Yes.
And I wrote down there's a string of dialogue that Stallone says to her, and I wrote down that Jesse has the most fitting response to any Stallone line in any movie ever. She just says, "What?"
And he's talking to her, trying to convince her to leave. And if you just look behind her, it's a pristine, naturally beautiful place to live. Leave this hellhole behind and come to Denver with me.
Denver, where the air pressure will always make you uncomfortable.
Also, during this scene, when she's reading him the riot act about how she's not going to leave, a fly almost flies into her mouth.
I did not notice that.
I didn't see that either, but that's amazing.
Yep.
Yes.
That's acting. She didn't even react.
She didn't. They just one take Jake. They kept it.
Wow.
But like when this scene started, even this scene went a different way than I was expecting. Like, I don't know how Stallone's like keeping me on my toes, but like I thought he was gonna show up and that like she was gonna have blamed him, and that's why he left. But that's not what happens at all. Like, she doesn't blame him at all. She like totally understands how it happened. He's the one who blames himself.
Well, because the real spurned romance here, guys, is between Stallone and Michael Rooker.
I mean,
the bromance.
That's a movie I would watch.
So at this point, I think at this point we go back to the Treasury Department.
Yes.
And they are on board the plane containing the containers of the $1,000 bills. There are more twists on this airplane than a Shyamalan flick. The FBI agent notices something awry. He sees another plane in the sky, pretty close. Gets up.
It's on the wing. It's on the wing.
Yeah, the plane is on the wing. It's very dangerous. And he gets up, gets his gun. But the Treasury Department is like, no, subdue him. And then the guy shoots all three of them, including legendary actor Bruce McGill.
Yeah, this guy's like, it's not a double cross, a triple, it's like a quadruple or quintuple cross.
Well, yeah, because then one of the pilots shoots the other guy, shoots the co-pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I have something else before that?
Well, there is the scene where they do go to see Michael Rooker, and Mr. Walton is painting a picture of a banana eating a monkey.
He's I guess he's supposed to be like a postmodern artist?
Well, I mean, it's his hobby. He's a helicopter pilot rescue guy.
/ artist.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird character arc.
It really is. Because it's never like... They don't really do anything with it either.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like used as a persuasion thing later when she says, "Drive me out there, I'll buy your stupid art."
Yeah.
Little did she know it was going to be worth millions before this movie was over.
Oh. But yeah, so they do, so there's the art thing. And then, so back on the plane, they have this wild plan to get all this money off this plane.
Fucking terrible plan.
Which later when one of the guys says that it was foolproof, I laughed for 10 minutes. What about this is foolproof?
I was getting some really good like Dark Knight Rises vibes from this scene.
Yeah, and then the cord and then they try to tell us that the guy can like shoot down a cord from one plane to the other and just easily scale down.
They honestly they just reached out and grabbed the cord. Like it wasn't whipping in the wind. It wasn't like it just guided straight into his hand.
They had like a pool hook or something. You know those things that people are drowning at the local swimming pool. They give them a rod or something to hold on to so they can pull them in. That's essentially what they used for this thing.
And so the Treasury agent, what's his name? The one that like turns on everyone. Travers,
yes.
Yeah. So he sends himself down first, and we get the first hearing of John Lithgow and doing his accent.
Spotless.
Yeah, flawless accent. John Lithgow is actually killing it in this movie in the cheese department, but that accent is wow. I don't know what he's going for, but I like it. So yeah, Travers comes down first, and then he has the pilot. Pilot's about to send the money down, but the FBI agent they shot is not dead.
No, because the guy steps directly on his hand and wakes him up.
Wakes him up. He brings him back to life. So he gets up, shoots the pilot, and just shoots like wildly. Like he shoots the other plane and shoots the fucking, what is it, the hydraulics or something?
Well, I think he probably knows that he's dead.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from this. He's been shot several times in a plane that's in midair. Obviously, the pilot's not going to help him land that plane. Mm. So you might as well just spray and pray. Exactly.
So he shoots wildly. He kills the pilot. He kills one of the guys in the other plane, like one of the terrorists. To which one guy says, "What should we do? He's hurt." He's like, "Get him into a hospital immediately." He pushes him out of the plane
as quickly as possible.
That line gave me a chuckle.
I liked that one. But the money, of course, is on the cord. But because the guy was killed, it flies off down below into the mountains, and our terrorists crash their plane.
Well, they crash a model.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that whole thing was a miniature.
I mean, but before that, the other plane explodes with those just amazing effects.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they set a charge in the original plane, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where all the money is, in that plane explosion.
And that's where the money falls out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's a fucking insane plan, number one.
Everything about it is insane.
Why not just take over that plane? Like, why do they have to put it in another plane?
They wanted to crash the Treasury plane so that there would be no, like, bodies. Like, they would think that the money burned up in the crash.
But they could just blow it up after.
If it crashes into a mountain in mid-flight, they'll spend more time with the wreckage as opposed to, if they landed it and then blew it up elsewhere. Also, there's trackers on that thing. Because there's trackers on the suits, not the suitcases, rather, because they used the Nintendo Virtual Boy to track them.
Wouldn't they be able to just listen to, like, the black box or whatever?
Yep.
Okay. So they crash the model, as Nathan said. And one of the girl, Crystal, the pilot, the terrorist pilot, gets the idea to get on the radio, which still works.
AKA the wife from Hook.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, shit. It's all coming together.
Because at first, I thought she was the lady terrorist from Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, okay, that would make sense, Rennie Harlan, yeah.
Yeah, so I looked up her IMDb, and she is not, but she was, Robin Williams' wife in Hook.
2-time appearance.
There you go.
She does like a fake American accent to Radio for Help, and ends up calling Rooker, Rocky Mountain Rescue. We're on our way. Can't get choppers in, but we'll be right there.
Can I just say that? So she uses a throwaway line that says, like, this person needs their insulin. That's how they're going to get them there. If you go to the Wikipedia page for this movie, it's included on the list of films featuring diabetes.
But it's just fake diabetes.
Yeah, and she only says insulin once. And it's just like, they're stretching with this list. I think
it's kind of weird that there's a list.
Guys, I'm looking to have a movie night on Saturday, but I just got we need a theme. Just got diabetes. I figure we just watch diabetes movies. I'm thinking of starting with Cliffhanger, and then maybe Lucky Numbers.
And then
no Lucky Numbers fans in the house.
Steel Magnolias, isn't
it? Yep, Steel Magnolias is on the list.
Oh, I forgot Lucky Numbers. Michael Moore has asthma, not diabetes. I can relate to that one, Michael Moore. So, Where the fuck are we? So yeah, they're calling for help. Michael Rooker's like, I'm gonna go help. Jesse tries to convince Stallone to go help him out, and he's like, no, he doesn't want my help. If we could drop the lady.
I didn't know
Meanwhile,
Sylvester Stallone was going to be on the podcast.
oh, Sylvester, what are you doing? Get out of the studio. You got these free snacks?
Well, since you're here, I want to talk to you about Stop or My Mom Will Shoot and Oscar.
Man. Oh, man, Stargate was a good lady, man. She's a good lady.
Okay, now the film Oscar.
Yeah, Academy Award, yeah.
No, the film called Oscar. The one that won no Oscars.
Come on, man. Don't remind me of that, man.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
I want to know, what were they thinking? Inception.
You're a bunch of bullies. I'm out. I'm gonna go.
Wow, Sylvester Stallone is remarkably onion-skinned.
I was able to understand him a lot easier, though. A lot more than normal. Oh, and he and Milos just left.
Oh,
okay.
I will be leaving as well. Goodbye.
Oh, that's gonna be a party. So, back to Cliffhanger.
Back to this fucking movie.
Well, we are at the part where they've suckered them in to go up and help. And Stallone, as you said, wasn't going to go up to help. But then he changed his mind. And when Michael Rooker gets to, part of the parts where he had to climb up to, Stallone's just waiting. I guess he took the elevator.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, you could have possibly scared the crap out of him, made him fall down the mountain.
Well, I got the wife, so...
But he's like, I'm gonna help you, and Rooker's like, no, basically, fuck you, man. Like, I don't want your fucking help. You dropped my girlfriend off a rope. But he goes with them anyway, and of course they run into John Lithgow and the Terrorists, which is my favorite rock band. But Lithgow, okay, I gotta play this first clip here, guys. Okay. I just want to play a little bit of Lithgow's accent because I want people to know what we're dealing with here.
Kill a few people, they call you a murderer. Kill a million, and you're a conqueror. Go figure. Move on, Tucker. Time is short.
So I don't know what it is.
I've heard worse.
Jerika said it's. I think you were saying it was kind of Katharine Hepburn vibe.
I like when you said he was doing British, I was like, oh, I thought he was 100% just doing like a 1940s weird mid-Atlantic golden age of Hollywood thing. But then now when I rewatched it, they do mention South Africa, and I'm wondering if that's what it's supposed to be. It's
a little, you know what he's doing? He went to the John Voight School of Accents. It's all those accents in one.
I mean, did you hear Christian Slater's accent in Prince of Thieves?
No.
Oof. Kevin Costner had the foresight to go, you know what? You don't want to hear my British accent, so I'm just going to play this role straight. Not Christian Slater, dedicated to the craft he is. He did an accent.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Lithgow and the Terrorists stop Stallone and Rooker, and they're like, you're going to help us get our money back. We got to find all 3 containers, basically the setup to a good video game.
Yep.
And we're going to, we have this crazy tracker, which again, what was that called? You called it?
It looks like a Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Yeah, Nintendo Virtual Boy, which apparently only Travers knows the code to, so that's what's keeping him alive, basically. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna help us find them. You're gonna track them for us.
And I mean, after this, do they smash cut to the explanation as to who John Lithgow is and all that?
I think that's a little bit later, but we might as well cover it now. Yeah,
well, I only noted it because this is the point where we meet Agent Michaels and Agent Hayes. Agent Michael Hayes.
Boom, got it in.
Got it in there. Dude.
Oh, God. Wrestling.
Wrestling. And this is where they explain that Lithgow is essentially a Hans Gruber knockoff.
With the greatest name ever, Eric Quaylen.
Quaylen.
But yeah, he basically, they suspected him for a while, so they put the FBI agent on the plane earlier, thinking that he was up to something. And he was.
So, points for being right.
Yeah, good job, guys. So they're guiding Stallone and Rooker around to, or I guess those two are guiding the other people around to find the cases. They finally make it to the first case, and I noted that Stallone has his over-the-top hat on.
Oh.
He even turns it backwards.
I did notice he turned it backwards, and I was like, "Oh God, that's a look."
Well, you gotta focus.
Yeah, we're turn that backwards. I'm a trucker.
That way, you know, I'm really in the zone.
Go over the top.
That's when they repeatedly tell him to fetch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I wrote worst dog owner ever. Because they scream it in his face.
Even more than Michael Vick?
Over and over.
No, maybe not worse than Michael Vick.
Ooh.
Hot take.
That's whew.
Too soon? What?
I'm wondering, is it? No, I don't think so.
No.
It's been 12 years or something. It's good. So they send Stallone up to get the first case, but not before taking his jacket, because we got to show off those fucking muscles and those pecs.
That's why you go to a Stallone movie, baby.
Yeah. By the way, he'd be dead. If he took off his jacket and just had his shirt on, he'd be alive for like what? He'd be like at least terribly frostbitten.
Yes.
But he goes up and he does get the first case. But then Michael Rooker finds out that they're basically going to kill him as soon as he comes down. So he warns them. They start shooting and causing an avalanche.
Yes.
Stallone just like tosses the case off the side of the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, why not just hold on to that money and try to do the bargain for Rooker right there?
I don't know.
Like, because they try to do that later, right?
Sort of, yeah, because they end up getting Pilot Lady.
Yeah.
And he has to do the exchange for the last case or something.
Yeah, he writes down, well, even before that, there's a scene where he writes down, like, want a trade, and it's like the money for Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
But alas, he just throws it, and an avalanche comes up. So I think one of them goes up and starts fighting Stallone. Right at this point.
Do they?
Oh wait, is that later? I'm lost.
No, because I think they think he's dead.
Yes.
Right.
So they just continue on their way, and then he goes to the cabin.
Right, and because this is where Jesse, his gal friend, is.
Yes, Michael Rooker like gives her a hint on the radio to tell her that like he's going. He says like he's somewhere that he's not, so she knows that something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, meet me in the cabin, and then she's like, what? The cabin? I'm gonna go to the cabin, but that's not even close to where he is.
Right, so she gets Mr. Walton to take her over to the other side of the mountain. Walton's
Rides
mountain,
them.
of course.
They say goodnight to each other before they go.
She promises to buy some of his artwork.
Yeah. So he drops her off, and then Stallone makes it to the cabin, and I wrote down, in case of emergency, break glass with her sweater.
That was wild.
That was weird, yeah.
I wrote down like they keep sweaters in glass cases.
Well, I'm guessing that the cabin is supposed to be some sort of almost museum-type place, but it does seem weird that they would keep, like, an old-timey sweater in a glass case.
And not even, like, a good sweater.
Well, it's supposed to be an artifact.
Yeah. But I just laughed, because, like, as soon as she broke the glass, I was like, what is she getting, an axe?
No,
She
just
fucking sweater.
just a light cotton blend for Sylvester Stallone.
And the ladies go, "Aw," they were checking out his arms.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Is that what you did?
No.
You're like, do we have to have a sweater in this scene?
Should be taking off his clothes, not putting more on.
Yeah, Stallone mountain climbing in his underwear.
Although there is one thing that happens also when they're in that cabin together. She mentions that she can't radio anybody because the cold killed her radio.
Okay.
And I'm like, if your job is for search and rescue in Colorado on the mountain, maybe have some better fucking equipment, Jesse.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, that the radios just get cold and you can't use them.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
What-
Brent, though, could explain as to why the cold killed the radio.
Plot.
Exactly.
I also think that they maybe should use the same radios that I use at work.
Use radios at work?
Those are
Oh,
some
yeah.
Cineplex issue radios.
They work just as well. Slam on my place of employment.
Wow.
Boom,
Slam on my former place of employment.
boom,
I don't work for them.
Mm,
boom.
you don't get those great radios then.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna do a lot of Cineplex radio related humor in this episode.
It's pretty niche, but I think it'll appeal.
I've got 10 pages of them. All right, so you ever walk into a bar? Okay, no. So yeah, so the emergency sweater. They go to find they're trying to find the next case before the terrorists do, so they can have some sort of bargaining tool.
Yeah.
And they do find it. Leave a note that they want to trade the money for Michael Rooker
With a snowman.
with a snowman. He has time to build a fucking snowman.
Well,
Honest to God, like, that's my question. Like, he hears them coming and then builds a snowman.
I like to feel or think that there was a cut musical number that got recycled and used in Frozen. And it's just Sylvester Stallone asking Pilot Lady if she wants to build a snowman.
You want to build a snowman? Let's go play.
But the
Yeah,
terrorists
it would be-
aren't having any of it, and they destroy that snowman, and I have the
Oh.
note, take that, Olaf.
It's the real I have a machine gun ho 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 moment of this
Yeah.
movie.
Actually, I have that, and I also have the alternative note, do you want to kill a snowman?
Yes, and Travers, the guy who played Travers, is like angry all the time. Like
And he blames everyone else. He's like, I'm so pissed off that I'm in this situation. And it's like, you put yourself in this situation.
Now, let's remember, he's Southern. He's not angry. He's ornery.
he's always. I think he yells every single line.
Yes.
Just about, yep.
He's so upset that he's there. And I'm like, this is your fault.
But thankfully, because they see that there's a snowman, they're like, they must be close. Hey, guy, random guy who we haven't given a name because you're about to die. Put on your night vision goggles.
And go investigate over that hill.
Yeah, but Stallone takes him out, throws him off the mountain.
Take him out with a flare to the face. And then uses
notice-
his body as a sled.
Oh my god, that was amazing!
Did you notice that the night vision that he was wearing is like a monocular? It doesn't have two eye holes.
That was weird.
So, but no, it's not uncommon. But what is weird is that he was trying to shoot them with no depth perception whatsoever.
So yeah, and Stallone kills. Michael Rooker says like, "Gravity's a bitch, isn't it?" Because you got to get those one-liners in.
Yeah.
I actually posit the idea that Rooker's one-liners are better than Stallone's.
Yeah, probably.
I don't hate Michael Rooker in this movie.
No, he's pretty great.
High praise.
Yeah, I like him in this movie. Yeah, Jerika, that's a back of the DVD quote right there.
Well, I mean, like, I don't like anyone in this movie because I don't like this movie.
But I don't hate him.
But, like, I liked him in it, I guess. I wish that the movie had been him and, like, no Sylvester Stallone.
Honestly, he could have been a better, like, a believable hero. Because Stallone is just supposed to be this mountain climber, but you look at him, you're like, okay, obviously he knows how to fight people. Like,
Sylvester Stallone's too muscly or something for me to buy him as a mountain climber, whereas Michael Rooker actually looks like he is, and he's a little bit younger than Sylvester Stallone, so I buy that too.
Well, let's also I posit the fact that this is a Die Hard on a mountain.
Oh yeah,
but for knuckle draggers. So it would actually be better if it had been Michael Rooker as the lead, because he's not as big as Stallone, so him overcoming this band of terrorists would actually, I think it would be more of a satisfying story to watch, even if they didn't change any other plot elements, just kept him, but made him the protagonist.
Well, yeah, because it'd be like an everyman having to dig down and become like a basically an action hero.
Exactly, just like Die Hard.
Yeah.
So,
tying it all together.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So after Stallone kills him, they have him and Jesse have a money fire.
Yeah,
Yes.
costs a fortune to heat this place.
Hey, I get it. I made a joke. Sorry, it's bad humor. And then now they're trying to reach the third container. The next day they try to, rather. But there's a... what happens? They're blocked because there's a bunch of explosions set off by Lithgow. I think they're trying to cross a bridge or something.
Oh no, he trips he trips an explosion wire.
Yes, because they are on the bridge that they're trying to cross. And then they have to run back and basically climb up the bridge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that bridge will come into play later, guys. What? There's a little bit of infighting between the terrorists, leading Lithgow to literally say, the fight's not here, it's out there. Love that line, that cliche line. Did that start? That can't be from Cliffhanger, right?
No.
Okay. Because I've heard that many times. But we go back to the Dude Bros at this point for a brief little scene, and this is the scene with the Dude Bros that I definitely want to play.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I love this scene.
Here we go. They're in their little tent, and they're having a little discussion here.
Next time you're like watching MTV, you know, like take a split second and flip it to the Weather Channel. I mean, hey, where would you rather be right now? Here in Tent City or at home playing some righteous air hockey?
Air hockey's definitely got my vote.
Exactly, Cheesehead, exactly.
What?
I understand all of those words individually, but those are not sentences.
I'm guessing Max Perlach, the fella who is referred to as Cheesehead,
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's from Wisconsin?
Must be.
But they never explore that. They just call him Cheesehead, which is the nickname of folks from Wisconsin.
You've given them some vast character backgrounds.
Well, you know...
Like, what does that mean? Next time you're watching MTV, turn it to the Weather Channel. Would you rather be here or playing air hockey?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well,
What does
he's
that
saying
mean?
check the forecast so that we don't get stuck on the mountain in Tent City. Because if you had checked the weather, we wouldn't have come up here today, and we wouldn't have gotten stuck.
It actually I don't understand how I didn't get this. Okay.
I didn't get it either.
I'm a straight up stone cold dum-dum. Okay.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I 100% didn't understand what was going on in that scene at all.
I genuinely just thought they were saying words.
Nope. Next time, check the weather so we know to get off the mountain at the right time.
Okay.
Yes,
setting up that they are still on the mountain overnight. They're not.
Yes.
They're up there too.
Yeah, they're still up there. Now it is nightfall, and or I guess it already was nightfall. But Sylvester Stallone, Gabe, his character's name. What am I doing? Stallone and Jesse are going through this cave because they got to go around now because of that bridge blowing up.
Yes.
And they're climbing up to get to the third case. But old Leon is there waiting for them.
Well, actually, we find out that the cave that they're in is filled with guano.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of bats. Ooh.
Right. So we got an action scene's coming up that is batshit crazy. Hey-o.
I honestly, that scene felt so out of place to me. Like, they're on a mountain with terrorists, like, they know that people are being murdered. And she's like, oh my God, there's a bat in my hair. Like, get your fucking priorities straight.
I feel the same way because I'm like, okay, she flies a helicopter. She rescues people for a living. Like, she's seen people die. I'm guessing she's seen broken bones and viscera and everything. Not
like she's probably encountered the wolves that we know live on that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but bats are what scare her.
Right.
Yeah, she becomes like a damsel in distress for some reason.
Yeah, it felt so out of place to me.
It was weird. But after they go through the bats, they pop up out of the hole, and Leon is there. And holy shit, you guys, we need to play this scene. This is the last clip I have here. This is Leon. Basically
Leon
going
the professional.
Leon the professional.
Not
This
quite.
is Jean Reno. Yeah. Leon basically has his gun on Stallone and then comes down and threatens to kill them. And I just want to mention, because you're going to hear a lot of punching and kicking, he actually puts his gun down and starts doing kung fu.
Now I'm gonna ask you this 3 times. Where's the money? Sissy. You hit like a sissy. Wrong answer, motherfucker! Get up! Now I'm gonna ask you for a second time. Where is the money? Burned it. Wrong answer! Time to kill a mountain man. It amazes me in this day and age when a man will put money for the personal safety of himself and his bitch. At least you can go to your grave knowing that I'm gonna treat the bitch right.
Amazing.
But the reason why he put his gun down was because, and it wasn't in that clip that you played, but there were no bullets in his gun.
Well, I don't think there were bullets in there from the get-go.
Right, because when she tries to shoot him, he says, "No bullets, bitch."
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of
But that
plan
that
is that?
I don't know. I guess he was just confident in his kung fu. What I love, though, is his whole thing where he's like, in this day and age, I was like, what? Where is this going?
I'm an old-timey prospector, and in this day and age...
I'm always surprised when someone will put their money in between them and their bitch.
So good.
I was like, there are so many. Okay, I kind of believe that Sylvester Stallone wrote this, because none of the dialogue makes any sense to me. Like that clip you played earlier, where John Lithgow's like, kill one person, you're a murderer, kill a million, you're a conqueror.
Yeah.
Kill them all, you're a god!
Where is this coming from? Like,
Megadeth.
You're a terrorist. Like, you're not a conqueror. Like, what is he talking? What is he conquering?
Also, kill a million.
Fiscal instability.
So Leon is killed because Stallone lifts him up through a stalactite.
Yeah, he just thrusts him into the ceiling.
Yeah, like ridiculous. It's just Stallone's force is able to just put that thing through his body, and basically a gusher of blood comes out.
Oh, yeah, it's inventive.
I question the strength thing, but that's another discussion altogether. So they make it out of the cave, even though there are explosives set to go off again. Michael Rooker warns them on the radio. He gets the radio and warns them that they're going to explode. Mm-hmm. So they get out of there, and we have another moment, guys, tying back to the first scene in the movie where Jesse is hanging on to Stallone's hand, and we're like, oh, is he going to drop another one? But no, he manages to pull her up to safety. And I am going to say I'm quite shocked at the movie's restraint from not just doing a straight flashback.
Yes.
That's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, points?
And they could have used it to pad it out a bit.
Oh, wait, you saying this movie's not long enough?
Well, it seemed like it went forever, but...
It is like an hour and...
It's almost 2 hours, isn't it?
50 minutes or something, yeah.
I was surprised when I went to Netflix and I opened it. I was like, oh my god, I paid 2 hours.
I was surprised it was on Netflix.
I was too. I was happy it was on Netflix. But I was very surprised it was on Netflix.
I was like, all right, let's see if I can find this. Oh, wait, what? So he pulls her up, and where are we at this point? I guess so this is where the terrorists really start turning on each other. This is the point where we see the death of Bobo, Bill, and Ted.
No, only one of them.
That was way earlier.
Max
Wasn't it?
Perlach survived.
Oh, okay. No, it happens around this point, I think.
Well, it happened before the guano fight, I think. Yeah. Actually, it happened after. It costs a fortune to heat this place. That's when the terrorists come upon our dude bras, and they book for it. And the blonde guy, he gets shot and he dies, but Max Perlach manages to jump off and parachute down to the bottom.
Yeah, and we get a great shot of Michael Rooker, like, slow motion running towards the dude bros, trying to warn them.
Yeah.
Which he then does later on.
Yeah, he does it twice.
Almost exact, like shot for shot. Same music, same running, like same.
Yep.
Just no.
Which maybe that's why you thought this was here, because the no comes up again.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Oh, you're right, because Leon is actually the one that shoots them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one of them gets killed. One of them just flies. The other guy flies off the cliff and gets caught in the trees. He has his parachute or whatever.
Yeah.
And then old man Frank, Mr. Walton, comes along later and finds him.
Yes, that's why Frank gets up on the mountain.
Scares some wolves away.
Yes.
Now the terrorists start turning on each other. Basically, John Lithgow wants to use the tracking device, but realizes that Travers is the only one that can use it. So Travers kind of has them at his will for a little bit, until Lithgow, who we didn't really talk about this a lot, but the female pilot, and him are kind of an item, and he says, "Well, checkmate. I just killed this girl / the pilot. Now I'm the only one that can fly. So go find the fucking container."
Yes.
I'll just wait here.
Yep. He literally just gets on the thing and just sits there and waits.
My note here is that those paintings that she agreed to buy earlier are now worth a fortune.
Oh, yes, because
the artist is
Frank.
dead.
Yes, Frank comes down to check because the. Oh wow, I'm all over the place because this happens earlier, doesn't it?
Yes, because they kill Frank, and she's like, well, I can fly it out of here, and that's when Lithgow's like, that's when he shoots her and says, do you know what love is? Sacrifice. Yeah.
What's the line you like to say? Sustaining on scenery alone.
Oh yes. Just chewing on that scenery.
Oh, just like a bunch of cud. Yeah. Cliffhanger cud. Yeah, so then after he kills the pilot, Travers goes to find the money, and he sets off with Michael Rooker and the only other remaining bad guy, which is like the racist Australian dude.
Yes, he's left to kill Michael Rooker.
Is he Australian? He's not Australian, is he?
I thought he was doing an Australian accent.
I thought he was just supposed to be like a British hooligan.
Well, it was funny because his accent, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's his real accent, and next to John Lithgow's, so it made it more hilarious.
Yeah, no, that guy's accent is legit. I've seen him in other stuff.
The one thing I noticed, though, about his accent is that he refers to himself as a soccer player.
Oh, yeah. Bloody good
which
striker.
He never would have.
Yeah, it would have been football, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But Sylvester Stallone was probably like, oh, football.
Well, here's the thing.
Soccer's the one you do with your feet. The people that can know the difference with a football.
They usually do. It is interchangeable now. And even at that point in time, it would have been interchangeable. People would have known if he had said soccer versus football. But I think you're right. I think that line was changed specifically to be soccer so that, middle America would be like, it's like, what do you mean? There's no strikers in football. What's a striker?
And that entire scene, though, of Michael Rooker just laying there while this guy's, acting out this entire soccer game, around his face.
Yep. Crowd goes wild. Field goal.
Yeah, he's
and what is Michael Rooker's...
to the left.
And then Michael Rooker finally manages to avoid him and shoot him and throw him off the cliff. And what does he say?
Season's over, asshole.
Yeah.
which his quip is so much better.
This entire movie is just like lines of dialogue that don't relate to anything. Every new scene is a new movie.
I think your theory is pretty sound.
Yeah.
But after he kills whatever country that guy's from, England, Australia, whatever.
The Commonwealth.
Yeah, there we go. Stallone has attached the tracker to a bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
I guess somehow, and
Which at
Travers.
first I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was like a bear.
Okay.
Because he saw the hole, and I was like, "Oh, is there a bear in there?" And then I was picturing a bear like going to eat Travers.
It suddenly turns into fucking like The Edge or something.
Just the Revenant.
The rabbit is brown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm guessing it's snowy there because there's all kinds of snow around. Most rabbits, I don't know if it's a temperature thing or maybe it is just a time of year thing, but when they get surrounded by snow, like in the wintertime and whatnot, their hair, their fur will change to a white so as to be camouflaged.
Yes. So it's almost like they just took a brown rabbit and put them on the set.
Yes.
110%.
Didn't do anything to make it look right.
No.
But Travers is going crazy shooting at the rabbit. He can't even hit it. The rabbit gets away. And he starts chasing Stallone. And eventually Stallone grabs him and throws him down. But Stallone falls through the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So he's underneath the ice. He takes his sweater off.
Yeah.
Under the ice. Like, the amount of time he's under there, he would probably be dead, and that just like made it even less possible.
Also, I got some issues with how clear that ice was to see through if they're standing on it.
And I have issues with, like, did he shoot him?
Did Frank? You mean did Gabe shoot the dude through the ice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
With a gun?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a gun under there.
And how did his gun shoot in the water?
Well, I mean, the first round ideally would still be watertight. And then when he shot it, water would have absolutely got into the firing mechanism and stuff like that. He might have been able to get one shot off, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, like the way that it looked at first, I thought Michael Rooker showing up with his gun was the one who shot him.
Oh.
And then, but then,
I did think that too. I will say I'm actually not sure, because the first time I watched it, I thought Sylvester Stallone shot him, but the second time, I do remember thinking, was it Michael Rooker?
Yeah, and like the official Wikipedia plot summary says that Stallone is the one that shot him, but I'm still not 100%.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will say
mystery...
I believe it either, but either way,
this mystery will haunt us forever, guys.
Now, Jessie, she's gotten away at this point. She's trying to signal for help or get away, and she sees the helicopter.
And she thinks it's old Frank.
Right.
Mr. Walton.
It is not.
it is not.
No.
And it's John Lithgow holding a gun on her from a helicopter. Couldn't you just, like, roll away? Like, I don't think it'd be that hard to outrun.
Well, no, and he would absolutely have a hard time training his sights as well, especially considering he has to maintain control over the helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, think about this, too, because he takes her into the helicopter, so that means he would have to land the helicopter while having the gun on her the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just peace.
Basically, she's waiting around to be taken hostage.
Yeah.
Later, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Lithgow, I think you're out of luck in this one. Gabe, or the Stallone and Rooker think that they've basically won the day. They radio Lithgow to let him know that all his men are dead. Lithgow has the hostage, so he says, all right, I still got a bunch of money. I'm gonna trade you the money for the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Comes down to the ultimate trade-off. He drops off Jesse. Stallone goes to throw the bag. He throws it into the helicopter blades.
Yeah.
And it goes everywhere.
And at this point, you can see that it is not Lithgow in the pilot seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they had the worst stunt double for him.
Yeah, they're not even, like, stunt doubles. They're just, like, random stuntmen.
Yeah.
It was just Leon again.
That would be amazing.
Like,
it's Mr. Walton, just like a stuntman. But he ends up taking the way that Jessie got down, she had like a cord or a hook or whatever, so it's still dangling. So he takes the hook and hooks up to the top of that bridge that fell down earlier.
no, it was the ladder.
Oh, it's a ladder.
It was
okay.
ladder was stuck to this because it's at one point he climbs up it, and I think there's like a sign near the bottom that says like vintage ladder because it's an old piece on the mountain, kind of like how the cabin was like a museum piece. I don't know if I'd trust my life to a vintage ladder because it comes off pretty easily. But I mean, in fairness, the helicopter's pulling it, but.
Well, that's the thing. The helicopter is pulling on it. The helicopter careens down the cliff, gets stuck. Stallone and Lithgow have this, like, fight on top of the helicopter.
Oh, and could you see where it was tacked in to stay up?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my God. I'm watching it, and where they're on top of the helicopter. Now, I'm assuming, obviously, this would have been done on, like, a sound stage, or it's, obviously we're tricked into thinking that it's up higher than it is, but they still need to make the thing kind of move or bounce a bit, so they have to kind of tack it into wherever the set piece is. And a couple times during the fight, you could see the beam or whatever it was that was supposed to be holding them up sticking into the mountain.
That is filmmaking 101.
Yeah.
Reginald Harlan, you've done it again, you bastard.
Oh.
And during the fight, too, I was like, oh, yeah, like, Lithgow would be standing any kind of a chance in a fist fight with Sylvester Stallone.
Well, that's, like, honestly, like, that's what I wrote down, like, during that scene. Like, I don't know if I buy John Lithgow as an action star.
Yeah.
Like, I buy John Lithgow as a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And, like, maybe, like using his mind,
yeah,
for sure. And
not
guns.
unlike Ricochet.
Yeah, but in, like, hand-to-hand combat, no. Also, I was shocked to find, though, that John Lithgow and Sylvester Stallone are the same age.
What?
What?
And knowing that and watching that movie, I don't know. It messed me up, man.
That's insane.
They're the same age.
And I feel like Lithgow is embracing that while Stallone is not ready for that.
No, not in the... Lithgow did age gracefully, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like an old man, but...
Yeah, and his role is, like, age appropriate. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, Michael Rooker is younger than both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes more sense. That role makes more sense for the Michael Rooker than Sylvester Stallone.
Well, guys, the chopper falls. Lithgow is Deadsville.
However, it's his own fault because he was instructed to keep his arms and legs inside the ride at all times.
Good Lord. One of these days, I just want an action movie where someone's doing a line that long and it gives the villain enough time to kill them. But the chopper falls. Stallone makes it up. So now it's an old familiar sight, kind of. I guess Jesse's there, but it's Jesse, Stallone, and Rooker. The Treasury agents that were going after Lithgow at the same time. There was another chopper going around. Rooker says like something to the effect of like, if you want to find Lithgow, he's at the bottom of the cliff
wearing a helicopter.
Yeah, and they're like, good.
And then it ends.
Patty actually said at this point, "Oh, now the feds get here."
Oh yeah, they get there right in time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just say, "We'll send someone up to get you.
Just sit tight.
Sit tight. You were just in a freezing cold river. You've been sweating to death. You haven't had anything to eat or drink in like 24 hours. We don't know
if they get rescued, if they get down off the mountain. So Cliffhanger ends on a cliffhanger.
Hey, can I suggest an extended ending for this movie?
Do.
I would have loved to see the rescue mission. They're going across the rope, and Stallone drops Jesse.
Wow.
Dark.
It all ties together. Or Michael Rooker drops her, and then they could be like, bro, I don't blame you. Same thing happened to me. Bro hug, credits.
They still frame freeze on them like it's the end of Murder, She Wrote or something.
Yep, and then it
They're
plays.
both laughing.
And then you hear, you're the best around. Cliffhanger.
Oh,
That was a movie.
It
Guys,
was.
Jerika. Would you recommend Cliffhanger?
Oh, man. I would 100% recommend the opening. As a short film, like 10 minutes of tension, that's great. I mean, I watched it on like 1.5 speed on Netflix, so...
Oh. So it was more like a wacky vaudevillian experience for you.
It's definitely... I would say it's not as bad as other movies that you guys have done on this show.
Mm.
So I would say if it interests you, you'll probably enjoy it. But if you don't think you would, then don't bother.
Boy, let me tell you, it costs a fortune to heat this place.
Every line is like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like make like a super cut of like all the dumbest lines in this movie, but that's just the movie.
You kill a man and you're a murderer. You kill money, you're a conqueror.
Hey, thanks. That's my time. Nathan, what about you?
I'd recommend it if you want some early to mid 90s just dumb action. This has got it by the barrel full.
Yeah, I'd say it's dumb cheese that's totally entertaining. It's just be prepared. It is super dumb.
Yeah.
And I think it's longer than it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, don't go see it if Jurassic Park isn't sold out.
That's what I was gonna ask. Would you recommend it over Jurassic Park?
No.
Hell to the hell to the hell to the hell to the no. Well, that settles it. We're gonna take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
What were they thinking?
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLUCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLUCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk.
Nathan, Podcoin.
Oh, what about Podcoin?
Well, I said it 3 times in the mirror, so it would appear, but it didn't work.
What do you mean it didn't work? You don't need to say it 3 times in a mirror for Podcoin to appear, Brendan. All you got to do is go to the Google Play Store or your Apple Store, and you can just download the app for free.
Oh, so it doesn't work like a magic mirror or like a Beetlejuice.
No need to worry about damning your soul.
Okay.
So just download it, right?
And I can listen to podcasts.
And you'll get paid to do it.
In Podcoins?
Yes, well, you save up those Podcoins and you cash them in for gift cards or charitable donations.
And like, say I listen to this podcast.
Yep.
I do.
Yeah.
I think the hosts are very sexually attractive to me.
Oh, yes, just handsome devils all around.
Is there any benefit to that? Like, can I benefit from listening to this podcast?
Well, fun that you should mention that. If you take a special code, WWTTPD, that's the What Were They Thinking Police Department, and you put that into Podcoin, they're going to set you up with 300 bonus Podcoins just to start you off.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you're earning right out of the gate.
So get that app, guys. Podcoin. Use that code. Listen to podcasts. Get stuff.
What were they
And we're back.
Hey, we are back.
And I just want to say, Nathan, Jerika.
Yes, Brendan.
Yes, Brandon.
It's time for the low haiku.
Yes, the low haiku. 17 little syllables that represent the movie we just spent an hour and a half talking about.
Indeed. Jerika, as our guest, would you like to break this movie down in 17 syllables?
Sure thing. Mountains, cold as ice. John Lithgow, his strange accent. He's Mary Poppins.
Very good, very good, very good.
Yes,
Thank
excellent,
you. Thank
excellent.
you.
Climbing scary rocks. Lithgow chewing all the scenes. Sir Rennie Harlan. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Rocky climbs the rocks. Henry, portrait of rescuer? Get me my agent.
Snap, snap,
That
snap,
was
snap,
that,
snap.
that was told from the perspective of John Lithgow.
Oh.
Interesting.
Thank you to special guest John Lithgow.
Well, it was just I wrote it from his perspective.
Hey, you said John Lithgow? Yeah, I love that guy.
He doesn't deserve to be on NPR.
Oh, I'm gonna go then. You guys have a good night. You guys turn on my own.
That loud Italian out of my studio.
He's gone, and so am I.
Oh, there you go. That worked.
Ah, found out a technique.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Let's move on. We all talked about Cliffhanger. We had opinions of Cliffhanger, but what did we always say?
Well, we always say...
Don't take a word for it.
Nathan, this is a rarity.
Mm-hmm.
This film is considered fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, by like 8%.
Yeah, so 68%. Audience rating 52%, which I'm surprised not to see that reversed.
Yeah, because this definitely is something that is more of an audience pleaser, I find, than it would be a critic pleaser.
Yeah, it's not like a technically well-made movie, but it is an entertaining one.
No, and as a matter of fact, retouching it and putting it in HD on Netflix did not do it any favors.
That green screen was immaculate.
Oof.
So
The fake snow.
the mountains looked so real in the background. Well, David Anson of Newsweek says Cliffhanger does its damnedest to see that the audience gets its money's worth of thrills, but for all the state-of-the-art stunt work, the movie has little personality. It's like ice cream without flavor.
Oh.
Yeah, so very straightforward, to the point.
Just frozen milk, then.
Love a good frozen milk.
You would. Christopher Harris from the Globe and Mail, so a Canadian review here.
Okay, do the accent.
Okay. It truly has an awe-inspiring stunts and special effects, as many of its suspense sequences will leave you with your heart in your mouth, right?
Sounds delicious. Jerika, you have one?
Yes, Richard Schlickel from Time Magazine.
Oh,
Great
He,
name.
he puts it simply, we're not at Cliffhanger for realism. We're there for the cliffhanging, and there's plenty of it.
It's all there in the title.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it says on the tin.
Jay Boyer from the Orlando Sentinel says, some movies get you so excited, so revved up on action and thrills that you almost feel like you're flying. Cliffhanger makes you feel like you're dropping.
Ouch.
That is a negative review.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can find a positive one. David Newser from Real Film Reviews gave it a 3 out of 4 and says, Cliffhanger kicks off with an enthralling sequence detailing a perilous rescue attempt within the aforementioned Rocky Mountains.
I like how it ends there. He's like, and the rest of the movie I did not watch.
I passed out due to Quaaludes.
I actually think that might be a secret Jerika review.
Yeah, I wrote that one. That was all me.
You got another one? Jerika?
Yes. Like the roller coaster ride Cliffhanger clearly wants to be, the film sends you out pleasantly rattled and wobbly of gait.
What?
It's from the Chicago Tribune.
Oh, that rag. Was it Roger Ebert?
It was not.
Okay. Let's go. Let's get into the audience reviews here.
Oh,
guys.
actually, I have one here. I did want it because I take umbrage with it. It's a fresh one, but I think it's a review of maybe like a re-release, because if you're a Stallone fan and a 4K enthusiast, this is a must-see for the sheer wonderment of the visuals. If you're one of those who can take or leave Sly and it's nonplussed on 4K, there's really not much on offer for you here. I feel that if you're into 4K, this is not necessarily the movie for you, because you will see every moving part.
Every little flaw that was hidden by non-HD.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now let's get into the audience reviews.
Let's.
The best ones. This is kind of a long one, but it's a 2-star review from Corey S. And it says, when I think of Sylvester Stallone movies, I think of Rocky and Rambo. So it took 25 years to watch this movie. And now that I've seen it, I can tell you right now, I most likely will not be rewatching this movie for another 25 years. That puts me at 65 years old. The action was over the top like I thought it would be, but not so over the top that it crippled the movie. What I didn't care for was the extra drama. You had an okay storyline with decent acting, but it was the extra drama, like killing the lady at the beginning, then killing the helicopter pilot and the young thrill seeker for no reason. I also noticed that Sly was all pumped up with peds for this movie, and that's why they never let him wear a heavy winter coat in this movie. He says it twice, even though he would have froze to death at least 5 times. In this movie, says 3 times. I did enjoy the way this film was shot, and all the mountains looked good. If you like all-out action movies and Stallone, then you might like this movie more than I did. 2 stars.
Well,
Yep.
I have a 5-star review.
Ooh.
And this person didn't leave a name.
Okay.
Just what looks like a rough sketch of, I don't know, Tinkerbell or Pebbles from the Flintstones. I'm not sure.
Was it Julia Roberts?
No. Again, they don't leave the name, so I'm gonna read it in a voice that sounds like the person who would have written it.
Okay.
Oh, the best thrilling movie ever made.
It is from Milosh. I knew it. Jerika?
I've got a half a star review.
Ooh.
From a Karen, of course, which will make sense once you hear it.
Okay.
Yeesh. Just yucky. Too many curse words. Never, ever watching that again, especially with my kids. Yucky. Frowny face.
This one is a 5-star review from George B. And he says, I'm not sure if it's possible, but I think this might be my favorite movie of all time next to Monsters, Inc. Can you imagine asking, what's your favorite movie? It's a tie, but I would have to say Monsters, Inc. and Cliffhanger.
Good Lord.
Oh my God. I've laid down and I'm thinking of having like heart palpitations. Oh my God. Oh my God. I would walk out.
So not unlike you, some say that this movie is as good as Monsters, Inc. Because according to Jerika's theory earlier, some people say that The Covenant is Rennie Harlin's best work.
Yeah, it all checks out.
The math does, anyways. I know a 1/2-star review from Michael L.
Ooh.
You have got to be kidding me. I'm a rock climber. This was fiction, misfacts, and poorly guided venture into what constitutes mountaineering.
How dare this Sylvester Stallone movie from 1993 be factually inaccurate? I did hear that actually when I was reading a little bit about it. Apparently, there were like a shit ton of criticisms from real rock climbers that were like, "Yeah, none of this movie was fact.
Right?
Like, none of the things they used to climb the mountains was accurate at all." All right, I got one more, and then Jerika, if you've got another one, you can go ahead. But this one is just from Holden C. It's a 4-star review, and it just says, "Good cliffhanging movie."
Okay. I've got one that's 3.5 stars. The villains are so stupid. It's actually hilarious to watch their moronic antics. All those cheeseheads deserve to die.
Oh no!
They weren't all from Wisconsin.
It's from and it's written by Wisconsin A. We love you, Wisconsin. Thanks for listening to the show.
For sure, no doubt about it, eh?
You bunch of cheeseheads. Anyway.
All right, I got one last one from, I think it's Layne S. 1 star. Writes, "I'm sure this was good when I first watched it, but now it's rubbish."
Boom, slam. So he's dissing himself when he was a kid?
I guess.
Okay. Take that, Layne.
I thought it was
Layne.
a pretty cool movie when I was a kid too, though, so.
And again, first time watching it as an adult. And again, I can't stress this enough. Horrible video game. Just the worst.
Never played it.
It's so bad.
Worse than the Judge Dredd video game?
I never played that one. I just know the Cliffhanger one was like the same background for every level. And then sometimes you get a snowboarding level.
Oh, that does
nice.
suck.
I don't remember snowboarding in the movie, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, that's Cliffhanger. Nathan, why don't you drop us a little clue for next week?
A little clue?
Clue. A little Tim Curry clue.
A Hinsky, if you
Yes. Mm-hmm.
will? Okay, well, I suppose I could come up with just a tidbit of something that could tell people what we're getting at, but not necessarily what we're watching.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You could be my wing pharaoh any day.
There we go. That's next week. Come back for it. On Monday, we will reveal the movie on our Twitter page.
Thank you, Robo Brendan.
You're welcome, Nathan. Now, I want to thank... well, actually, before we go to that part, we got to get Montrose in here. Montrose, get in here.
Hello, it's your good friend Montrose Monkington III here. Just wanted to pop in and say hello to everyone. I hope you've been checking out my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV, where I have recently posted some video of some unearthed, previously unseen Montrose footage from a wrestling event where I got to meet Tommy Dreamer back in 2017. If you watch that, you can either check it out there, or you can follow the links on my my Facebook page, Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. Or, you know what, I believe I also alluded to it on Twitter, at Montrose III, that's the number 3RD. Please do enjoy the video and let me know what you think. And thank you! More later.
Thank you, Montrose.
It was all your pleasure.
It was my pleasure and yours.
No, just mostly yours.
And yours.
No, not quite.
Thank you. More later.
Don't steal my lines.
Thank you.
He's gone.
Okay. Well, I want to thank, of course, Jerika for being our extreme sports expert, our guest for the number 5. This is the 5th one.
It is a pleasure. I think, this is a good one. We've been waiting to do this one for a while, so I'm happy to have finally seen it.
Yeah, it's at least, in terms of the enjoyment level, up there with Thrashing.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's like streets ahead of like Tracers and Rollerball.
Yes, and you forgot the best one.
I'm sure
Chairman
I
of
did.
the board.
Oh my god! See, oh my god. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I blocked that one out.
Way to go,
You-
way to go, Brendan. She had her body
Yeah.
had been through so much trauma after watching Chairman of the Board that she successfully blocked the memory, and you had to remind her.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan.
Farm animals.
Oh, God.
No problem. Glad I could help. So you can also find us all over the interwebs you can find us on Facebook. Just search for What Were They Thinking. Find us on Instagram, at Twitter, at WWTT Podcast. We're on all the podcatchers. Podbean at www.ttpodcast.podbean.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all that good stuff. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/WWTT Podcast. Just like Jerika, she's a patron.
Yeah, whoop, whoop.
Woo! Like I said last week, we do have a bonus episode coming up sometime this month, so keep your eyes out for that. Keep your eyes open for that. Don't keep your eyes out
Ears
for that.
open for that, too.
Yeah, ears open, eyes closed.
Open as well. I mean, you would read the text to say, hey, bonus episode.
No, I go in blind. Just start clicking. You'll eventually hit play. Even if you delete all the files on your computer, it's worth it. But yeah, we don't know what it is yet. Nathan is... I don't think we'll do a reveal. I think it'll just happen, right?
Yeah, it's you. It usually goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So check that out. And we're also on TeePublic and Redbubble. Got some stuff on there. So just search for us on those websites. And I think that will do it. So again, I will say again, thank you, Jerika. Thank you for joining us for Cliffhanger.
My pleasure.
And as we sign off, I guess, Nathan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about a movie where they paid $70 million to make it.
I got 30 of it.
In 1993-94. I mean, and they got John Lithgow, a man who has tread the boards several times, but apparently cannot do a very good accent. And, I mean, another movie which also is possibly a prequel to not only Guardians of the Galaxy, but also Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Right. With all of that bizarro stuff happening, including plane hijacks in the middle of the air. It's a robbery, so it's like a train robbery, but planes. We got a couple of dudes who might be from Wisconsin, but talk they're from the Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for something that's all over the place like this and looks like it could be entertaining, I just have to ask.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
Hi, guys. We interrupt your favorite podcast to interrupt you with an ad for your new favorite podcast.
Wait. Isn't this playing on somebody else's show?
Exactly.
So then how are we... I thought we were their new favorite podcast.
Well, we're going to become their new favorite podcast after they hear this advertisement for our show. What's our show called, Justine?
Superiority Complex.
Yeah? Where can they find us, Patrick?
Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to @SoupComplex on Twitter, SOUP Complex, and you can go to Facebook.com/SoupComplex. But our main page is on Podbean, and you can find us there at www.superioritycomplex.podbean.com. New episodes are out every Thursday. Justine,
yes.
What do we talk about on the Superiority Complex?
Nerdy stuff.
Perfect.
Don't get all sensual with your voice.
Yeah, did you hear that?
I heard it. It's a little inappropriate.
If you want to hear a little more of that, tune in to the Superiority Complex. One more time, Justine, what do we talk about?
Nerdy stuff.
Nah, wasn't
No.
the same. You tried.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and I'm scared we exist in the Matrix.
I'm Jaslyn, and I'm bad at ad-libbing.
And you're listening to
High Expectations.
The promo. For our international listeners, you can appreciate our cute New Zealand accents. For our local listeners, you might bump into us in the street 3 times in the same hour. Our podcast is about pop culture,
Sexuality,
relationships,
interesting hobbies,
banter, and ragging on each other.
You can find us on
Apple Podcasts,
SoundCloud,
Pocket Casts,
Podcast Addict,
or anywhere you might like to find podcasts.
Yay, please subscribe.
Goodbye!